July is finally upon us, and besides being boiling hot outside, there's some new games to talk about. Now, generally, this is a pretty slow time of year. You don't get a lot of super hyped up and advertised new games coming out in July. I thought there was enough interesting new stuff that I wanted to share with you guys that I put together a video. So here today, we're gonna go over the top 5 new games coming out in July of 2019. So let's start things off with the first one. This is Final Fantasy XIV Shadowbringers, the latest expansion that lets you experience brand new environments and fight alongside prominent Final Fantasy characters. In the Shadowbringers story, heroes become villains as the Warrior of Light embraces the darkness. Besides getting new zones, new cities, and experiencing the new storyline, there's a new 8-player raid. There are going to be 3 new instance dungeons, these new tank and DPS jobs, 2 new races, and there's also going to be some changes and updates to the game's battle system, as well as the new trust system that lets players take on dungeons with a party of trusted NPCs. I've really thought about jumping into Final Fantasy XIV quite a lot. It's an MMO that constantly gets recommended to me, and I am a fan of MMOs. I tried the game briefly some years ago after its rework, and it just kind of never stuck with me. And at this point, I feel like I'm so far behind Final Fantasy XIV, it would be just quite an obstacle to jump right back in the game. So I'm still considering it. I think Final Fantasy XIV could be an experience that I really enjoyed. I just have to get over the hurdle of the hundreds of hours it's going to take to catch up to this latest expansion. But I'm hearing lots of good things, lots of excitement about Shadowbringers. So again, I thought I'd bring it to your attention. This is launching on the PS4, PC, and Mac on July the 2nd. So as of this video, it is already out. And next up, we've got Sea of Solitude, an adventure game developed by Yomei Games and published by EA. In this, you play as a young woman named Kay as she explores an abandoned submerged city, fighting red-eyed creatures in an attempt to uncover why she herself has turned into a monster. The game will have you meeting fantastical creatures and monsters, learning their stories and solving challenges, exploring a flooded city either by boat, foot, or swimming through the water itself. As you travel through, you'll be solving puzzles, ridding the world of tainted memories, and meeting a variety of monsters, each with their own struggles. Confront these monsters to learn more about them and Kay as you discover what it means to be human. It seems like one of the big focuses of Sea of Solitude is kind of like mental health, basically. They talk a lot about loneliness and uncovering the monsters and how they relate to you and your own perception of yourself. So kind of realize that that's the sort of experience that you're getting with this game. One thing that really struck me was just the art style. Visually, this game looks absolutely amazing. My expectation is it's probably going to be a pretty short experience. I don't expect this to be like a 20 or 30 hour game. I expect it to be on the smaller side, but it looks cool. I think it's a kind of small sort of game that I'd like to experience. I not too long ago talked about how I'm tired of all these games that want you to play them every single day because I just don't have time to keep up with all of that. So to have a kind of more condensed package sounds pretty cool. Sea of Solitude comes out on the PS4, Xbox One, and PC today, July the 5th. Next up, we got this game called SolSeraph, a retro-inspired game that combines 2D action platforming and top-down tower defense. You're going to be building up a city, setting up defensive structures, and then protecting them from a threat of constant monsters. We'll then descend into those layers and fight back those monsters with sword and spells, exploring floating islands, ancient caverns, and lost cities. It's kind of a cool idea, you know. A few years back, I kind of tired on the 2D action game, but I've got the appetite to check out some new stuff, and this idea of combining this side-scrolling 2D action with a top-down tower defense experience, like, that sounds like a pretty neat combination. It looks kind of interesting. I like the style of it, so something worth checking out. This comes out on the PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC on July the 10th. Next up, we've got Fire Emblem 3 Houses, a turn-based tactical RPG that puts new twists on strategic battling. In this game, you choose from the Officers Academy's 3 houses. You can either pick the Black Eagles, the Blue Lions, and the Golden Deer. Is this Harry Potter? What's going on? You're going to be playing as a professor leading your students in their academic lives, but also on the battlefield. And it also says for the first time in the series history, battalions of troops will be following individual units to support them in battle. You'll be able to freely roam the game's monastery, interacting with students in a variety of ways to bond, to gather intel, and help you progress throughout the game. Fire Emblem is a series that I haven't played yet, but I've heard a lot of positive stuff about. A franchise that people really enjoy, so I figured this one was worth talking about, and this comes out on the Switch on July 26th. And then finally on our list today, we have got Wolfenstein Youngblood. This upcoming first-person shooter is a spin-off of the mainline Wolfenstein series, series. It takes place 19 years after the events of Wolfenstein 2, where the main character BJ has disappeared after a mission into Nazi-occupied Paris. Now, in this game, you'll be playing as BJ's twin daughters, Jess and Soph. You'll be teaming up either with a friend, or you can play alone with an AI companion. This is a co-op focused game. It's also said to be the most open-ended Wolfenstein experience to date. You've got this base of operations located deep in the heart of the Paris catacombs, and then you'll kind of branch out to try to fight back the Nazi regime. You'll be leveling up, exploring, completing missions to unlock new abilities, weapons, gadgets, cosmetics, and more to complement your playstyle and customize your appearance. And again, this is a co-op focused game, so you'll be working either with another person or with your AI to overcome obstacles, like one person stands here, another person pushes a button, kind of stuff like that. Now, Wolfenstein Youngblood will be launching on the PS4, Xbox One, Stadia, and PC on July 26th. So those are the top 5 games that I think look most interesting for this month. Got a couple of runners up I want to quickly mention: Dragon Quest Builders 2, The Sims 4 Island Living, Etherborn, and then Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 The Black Order. So again, July is a pretty slow month overall. There's not a ton of like super exciting games, but I think those 5 that I mentioned at the very least, in addition to the honorable mentions, so there seems like there could probably be some gems in there. I'm excited to start jumping into some of this stuff. Overall, I'd like to start playing more games. I feel like I've kind of just been playing like one game for 2 to 3 months at a time and then moving on to another one. That seems to have been my pattern recently. So I'd like to start just branching out into playing a lot more games. And coming up with these lists is kind of like a fun way to think about the new games that are coming out and kind of figure out which ones that I want to play. So maybe expect me to talk about some of this stuff here. I guess with the exception of Final Fantasy XIV, again, as much as I love to jump into a new MMO, I just don't know if I have the time or if I want to pay the money to do the level and story skip and then not even experience the game. Maybe Final Fantasy will be a game that I play a little bit here and there and slowly make my way to like the end game, so that when the next expansion comes out, I can actually play it and talk about it. But yeah, that's basically it. Again, July is a slow, hot month. It's like, if you can't tell, someone pointed out in my last video that I look like I was sweating. I am. It's like 90 degrees outside, and my office is in an attic, which in the winter is gonna be freaking fantastic, but right now, it sucks. So yeah, that's gonna do it. Top 5 new games of July 2019. Thank you guys for watching the video. Stay tuned, we got more stuff coming up. Have a nice weekend, and check out some of these games. I'll see you later.